Good afternoon and welcome to the DFS Army YouTube channel. I am Razzle11 and you can find me on X at Razzle11Grinds. Going to take a look at the pitching for today, the 18th of April. It is Friday. It is Good Friday. We do have an 11 game main slate ahead of us this evening. We do have some warmer temperature with some wind blowing out. We might see a little bit more offense on this particular slate. We have some names in the pitching department, but not some slam dunk spots at this point. So it is going to be interesting to figure out how we are going to break down our pitcher pool on this particular slate, especially based on the weather. Obviously, some big. We have some strong game totals as well. I was kind of shocked to see the Baltimore Cincinnati game at 9.5. Really wasn't expecting that. I know both pitchers aren't the greatest and they're left-handed. And normally I like left-handed pitchers in that ballpark, but they did obviously adjust the fencing a little bit, but still, uh, it's been better for left-handed pitching than right-handed pitching. Uh, Boston, a 9.5 between two offenses that aren't explosive right now. So it's very interesting there. 9 in Houston, seems aggressive. Colorado just an 8.5, but we'll kind of get into that here as we look at weather. We have it as a 100% chance of being PPD'd. I haven't seen anything yet today that says that it's for sure PPD'd, but we're talking snow, multiple inches of snow, if I remember correctly, and just not enjoyable weather. Um, I'm not sure that they want to play in it, but Colorado does play through a lot of things. They arguably have the best ground crew in all of baseball. So it will be interesting. And maybe the timing of everything changes. And if it does, we're definitely going to know ahead of first pitch as to whether they're just going to play through it or not. So uh, if they do play through it, there's a couple of pitchers in that game that become very interesting that I didn't write down because I just assumed that this game is going to get PPD'd. But we do have to do our due diligence on that game in case it does go off because there's obviously a spot to attack there. But as always, this is a first look at the pitching options on the slate. I do go more in depth for the members at DFS Army. I will be looking at DraftKings as that is where a majority of my action is. If you do play on FanDuel, I'll cut my pool into a half or even a third. Pricing isn't quite as tight. You don't have to be as creative. You can get the stacks that you want with an upper tier ish pitcher. So, with all that being said, let's just jump in here at this 11 game slate and take a look at some of the names and see who we need to dig into more, who we're just going to eliminate right away, and who intrigues us the most. Yamamoto taking on Texas. Overall, Texas has struggled a decent amount. Uh, Jock Peterson hitting third yesterday is like one hit in the last 4 months, roughly. Um, Yamamoto always going to be in play for me. K prop 5.5 juices on the over, plus 135 to earn the W. There's a handful of guys that are in the plus 110 to 135 range, but uh, Yamamoto just a solid option. The Dodgers are minus 142 favorites on the road here, as well as just 3 earned runs in 4 starts. K upside is there. And I believe traditionally he's been tougher on left-handed bats than right-handed bats, and I would expect Texas to have a handful of left-handed bats in their lineup. Freddie Peralta, definitely going to be in play. K numbers haven't been there the last couple starts. Walks have been up. That is a worrisome, just because like this athletic squad does have so much power. This athletic squad actually is not showing the same amount of strikeouts that they had shown last season, which is kind of shocking. This season against right-handed pitching, their projected starting lineup is striking out under 17% of the time. It's a big change for this team. I don't expect that to continue necessarily. They do have a handful of guys that are definitely going to be K prone as the season progresses. Uh, Langeliers just an 11% K rate against right-handed pitching so far. I expect that number to creep up because he struck out quite a bit at the major league level. Obviously, their number is decreased a little bit thanks to guys like Jacob Wilson, who just rarely strikes out, and even Miguel Andujar, who isn't striking out all that much. So that'll be interesting. I think Peralta's certainly in play. He is a minus 175 favorite, plus 135 to earn the W. And now I know I pointed out those K numbers, but Peralta is the number one on the slate with a K prop of 6.5 with juice on the over. So, the Vegas numbers are DraftKings numbers. Definitely believe that the Athletics are going to strike out a little bit more. Next one, Brian Wu. Somebody that I'm somewhat interested in, but his K prop at just 4.5 is extremely low for a top end pitcher on a slate as far as price point goes. Toronto, not a huge strikeout team, but Wu is plus 125 to earn the W. He has an outs prop of 18.5, which is tied with Logan Webb for the most on this slate. But like I mentioned, at plus 125 to earn the W, he's actually a slight underdog on this game. Uh, Toronto is minus 118. So he's going to fall behind some of these guys. He's going to be in play, but of all these spend ups, say Peterson above, Wu's probably the first guy that I end up eliminating if it comes down to needing to eliminate somebody from my pool. I just don't know if he has the same upside to match some of these other guys. Uh, so when I see spots like that, I just tend to want to eliminate a guy just because we can't play everybody as much as we want to, or at least we shouldn't, because if we're playing everybody, that's going to dilute our pool and it's going to give us a less likely chance of hitting the combination we need to take down large field GPPs. Logan Webb is somebody that I am definitely interested in. Wish he was pitching at home, but it is what it is. The Angels do have some power. They do have some guys that can strike out against right-handed pitching, though. Projected lineup with a 24% K rate against right-handed pitching. Soler, Ohape, Karen Paris, Adele, Tim Anderson. Plenty of strikeout numbers this season against right-handed pitching, and we do know that Trout can strike out a little bit more. He's an extreme ground ball guy. He has had his struggles over the years on the road at times. As we see, his K numbers are lower on the road this year. Obviously, 3 starts to 1 makes a big difference. He's a minus 162 favorite. Game total is 8 with juice on the under, so it is the lowest total. Uh, Actually, second lowest behind that Brewers Athletics game. He does have a K prop of 5.5 with juice on the over. He's tied with Yamamoto with this for the second best K prop on the slate, and he has the best odds to earn the win at plus 110. I do think Webb is probably your cash pitcher or one of them. Doesn't feel great to say that, but I do think he's somebody that I probably trust in this matchup more than a Freddie Peralta. I think. Obviously, first look wise, I think that's where I'm leaning. But when lineups come out, you do have to be willing to pivot between a couple of guys, kind of like the if then statements, the what ifs, etc. Just be prepared for that. David Peterson, somebody that I'm going to utilize. Ground ball rate has been really strong at the beginning of the season. Has shown strikeout upside. Obviously, walks can be an issue. St. Louis, while their overall strikeout numbers aren't very strong, they do strike out against left-handed pitching a decent amount. 21% isn't decent, but You got to realize that Nolan Arenado has not struck out yet against a left-handed pitcher, so that's bringing that percentage down. Um, Sagasi is in the projected lineup, and he's only has 7 plate appearances against left-handed pitching with 1 strikeout. So his number is bringing it down a bit. Pedro Paz just 14 plate appearances against left-handed pitching with 2 strikeouts. So uh, there's a couple of players that are weighing it down a little bit from either a sample size standpoint or Arenado's just seeing the ball pretty well against left-handed pitching. The rest of the lineup, I mean, he has 4 guys in the projected lineup that have 28% plus K rates against left-handed pitching so far this season. I do think they're in some line for some regression from a K standpoint. So that's why I think David Peterson makes a lot of sense. He has a minus 175 favorite. He's plus 125 to earn the W. And his K prop's up at 5.5. Juice is on the under, but it's still up at 5.5. So I think people are probably going to overlook him a little bit. So he's one that I might want to hang my hat on a little bit more. This matchup in Tampa Bay between Rasmussen and Rodon. Rasmussen with a K prop of 5.5. Rodon's actually at 6.5 with juice on the under. Rodon is plus 145 to earn the W, while Rasmussen is plus 245. Tampa Bay has kind of held him to exactly 5 innings in each start. They might not be letting him go. We know the Yankees are a tough offense because of their power. They do strike out a little bit, but they have so much power. They are dangerous. I'm not really sure what to expect. It is the warmest weather of the day. Wind's finally blowing slightly in, but still, it's a dangerous spot. I think both guys are in play. Rodon is much more volatile, but he probably offers more upside at this point than Rasmussen does. Tampa Bay's projected lineup does still have left-handed bats in it, and they're striking out at a 26.2% clip against left-handed pitching this season. There's volatility, home runs, walks, etc. He can get blown up, but there's a route to some big upside, and that's kind of what we look for large GPPs. Abbott, Povich in that game. As much as I like left-handed pitching in the ballpark, that game total is 9.5. I'm going to end up passing on those guys. I initially wrote them down. They are going to carry a little bit of ownership, but I'm just going to end up passing. That Coors game, Mackenzie Gore and Chase Dollander, very interested in the pitching if somehow they play. I'm just going to point that out. Very, very interested in those guys if that game is going to happen. This Boston White Sox game total of 9.5. I don't know if I like that total. Press is walking too many guys. He's not a big K guy, but Boston can be had via the strikeouts, and I think he's somewhat sneaky. But he's somebody that I would eliminate if we get that Coors game. I definitely could see myself eliminating Martin Perez. Hunter Diamond's taking on the White Sox. Looks solid in his debut. Expected to be recalled today. I think he's certainly in play against that White Sox team. They aren't striking out as much as you'd think, but he's a minus 218 favorite, plus 190 to earn the W. K prop of just 4.5 with juice on the under, though. About Francis, somebody I'm definitely interested in. There's K upside in this matchup. There's volatility in this matchup, though. He's shown us the ability to get it done. I want to believe in him in this matchup. Game total is just 8 in this one. His K prop's 4.5 with juice on the over. And his outs prop is 17.5 with juice on the over as well. The only other guy down here that I'm considering, so I've pretty much eliminated everybody else, beforehand, like they're not really worth talking about, is going to be JT Ginn. Looks super strong against the Mets in his first start of the year. Milwaukee can be dangerous, so I do want to look into some of his splits because Milwaukee is going to be pretty left-hand heavy. But JT Ginn in a game that has a total of 7.5. K prop of 4.5. Juice is on the under, so it's not super inviting, but low total. Looked good in the first start. I have to be interested in. But he also could find himself out of my pool. There we have it. There's kind of that first look through the pitching options. If you enjoy what I bring to you, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on, get the alert anytime we drop videos here at TFS Army. And if you want to join us, get access to our coaches, tools, sheets, Discord, etc. I will put links in the description below. You can use promo code RAZ, that's R-A-Z, for 10% off monthly. And as always, best of luck, everybody.